The statement that he needs to understand the statement of Law Minister Azam Nazir Terard closely, he has given about former Prime Minister Imran Khan. It has been given a message that this should happen. Talking to reporters in Adiala jail, he said that if the former DGISI was to run in the case of General Faiz Hamid, I would do the competition in the courts, but the trial should be done in the open court and the facts came to the public. The statement that the Minister of Law is present. Law Minister Azam Nazir Terard has said that the federal government has nothing to do with Imran Khan's case in a military court. According to him, Field General Court Martial will have to approach Punjab's prosecution for this purpose. The chairman of the Islamic Ideological Council, Dr. Raghub Hussain Naimi, has said that in the Mubarak Sani case, when he declared a fatwa against a religious party against Chief Justice Qazi Faiz Issa as unconstitutional, then he was for 500 threatening messages were received. Former Prime Minister Imran Khan, while talking to reporters in Adiala jail, has alleged that General Faiz Hamid was removed from ISI in October 2021 on the demand of Nawaz Sharif, followed by talks with the Afghan government. Eliminated. Prime Minister Shahbaz Sharif has said that we have to completely eliminate terrorism from Baluchistan with full planning. Not only Baluchistan 2022 and Khyber Pakhtunkhwa but all over the country will be crushed after terrorism. Tel Aviv. The top commander of the Islamic Jihad, a resistant to the Islamic Jihad, was killed during a raid by the Zionist army. According to Arab media, the Palestinian resistance organization Islamic Jihad has confirmed that one of his top commanders, along with his brothers, were killed in clashes with the Israeli army at the North Shams refugee camp in Takram. On the other hand, a statement issued by the Israeli military said that the second day of the military operation in the West Bank, 5 armed men were killed, including militant leader and commander Mohammed Habir al-Marif Abu Shuja. Meanwhile, the Palestinian Authority Ministry of Health spokesman said that the number of Palestinians killed in 2 days of Israeli military operation in the West Bank has increased to 12. West Bank. Witnesses, on the other hand, told AFP that Israeli forces had withdrawn from the Al-Farah camp in Tobaz, where nearly 10 Palestinians were martyred yesterday. However, AFP journalists in the affected area have reported that clashes between the Israeli army and Islamic Jihad are underway in the fetus and the drone has been seen flying in the sky, while raids are also underway in Takram. Also read this news. Israeli aggression in the West Bank. The Palestinian president has summoned Saudi Arabia. It is to be noted that for the past 2 days, the Israeli army has now launched operations in the West Bank for the presence of fighters, on which Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas has been returning home after his visit to Saudi Arabia. The West Bank is a Palestinian territory that has been occupied by Israel since 1967 and is geographically separate from Gaza and from Israeli soil, and there is a Palestinian Authority. During the Gaza war last year, Israeli army and Jewish settlers are targeting Palestinians in the West Bank, and so far 637 Palestinians have been martyred here, while 19 Israelis, including soldiers, have been killed. It is to be remembered that the number of Palestinians killed in the brutal bombing of Israel since October 7 on Gaza has exceeded 40,500, while 94,000 are injured, of which half are women and children. Where is the world's humanity lost during the war devastation in Gaza? UN. The acting head of the UN agency, OCHA, in an atmosphere of Israeli aggression and oppression during the about 11 months of Gaza's war, has questioned the human rights and humanitarian claims that it's humanity. Where is it? They have gone to our basic humanity despite the situation in Gaza. OCHA's acting head Joyce Messiah is active in tackling the challenge of the Israeli war in Gaza, and in the evening, Gaza is watching the disaster and human tragedy in front of him. But the civilized world in which freedom, human respect, equality, human life and human rights are played by such human rights are forced to ask for response about Gaza. Where is that humanity? The Ukrainian military has said that an F-16 plane crashed and the pilot was also killed while trying to thwart Russia's invasion. According to Reuters reports, Ukrainian General Staff said in a statement on the social networking site that F-16 was moving towards Russia's target and fell and the pilot was also killed. He said that F-16 showed high standards and also dropped 4 Russian cruise missiles and Russia fired more than 200 drones. Ukraine said in a statement that a ship had gone missing on its next target but returned later, but now the F-16 crashed and the pilot was also killed. U.S. Defense Ministry officials said in a statement that the F-16 plane crashed in Ukraine on Monday and did not fall due to Russian fire and possibly caused a pilot's mistake, however are being investigated. EU top official calls for ban on Israeli ministers. Joseph Borrell said the statements of Israeli ministers are clearly against international law. Photo. European Commission. Brussels. EU Foreign Policy Chief Joseph Borrell has called on 27 member states to ban several Israeli ministers, giving hateful messages to Palestinians. According to Al Jazeera's report, at the European Union Foreign Ministers and Defense meeting in Brussels, Joseph Borrell said that the statements made by the Israeli ministers are clearly against international law and provokes for the commitment of war crime. Yes. The report said that Joseph Borrell did not name the Israeli ministers, but in recent weeks he had openly criticized Israeli National Security Minister Itamar Ben-Gvir and Finance Minister Bezalel Smotrich over his statements and guilty was interpreted. Talking to reporters, Joseph Borrell said, "I have begun to inform the member states. If they deem it appropriate, we have given a list of sanctions on Israeli ministers, who have unacceptable hatred against the Palestinians. Messages were given. I think the European Union will have no problem to use our list to respect human law," he said. Also read. Iran calls for Iran's ban on Israel at the Security Council emergency meeting. Diplomats say 27 members are unlikely to agree on Joseph Borrell's demand to ban Israeli ministers, but it is anger that several EU officials are reservations on Israeli ministers. Yes. It is clear that the Gaza war, which began on October 7, 2023, is disagreed with the EU member states, though Israel has killed more than 40,000 Palestinians in brutal operations. Among the EU member states, Hungary, Austria and the Czech Republic have supported Israel's position, while the Ireland bloc was the first country to openly speaking in favor of Palestine, then Spain and Norway have joined. On the demand of the chief official, the foreign ministers of the member states reacted mixed up and did not finalize their success. Some ministers also called it a dangerous way. Read more. U.S. considering sanctions on Israeli rigorous ministers. Ireland, Spain and Norway say they support Joseph Borrell's demands to ban Israeli ministers and organizations as they are facilitating the expansion of settlers on Palestinian soil. Belgium Deputy Prime Minister Petra de Sutter said he fully supported the ban on Israeli ministers Ben-Gvir and Smotrich this week. On the other hand, Hungarian Foreign Minister Peter Zizarto told reporters that Joseph Borrell's proposal was dangerous. The Italian Foreign Minister said that imposing sanctions to bring Israel to the table for a ceasefire in Gaza is not the right way. The German Foreign Minister hesitated the proposal, saying that the European Union had previously imposed sanctions on extremist Jewish settlers. The ban on Israeli ministers by the European Union will result in banning travel to member states and their properties will be seized within EU borders. There is intense tension between Hezbollah-backed militant organization, Israel and Iran, which is attacking the parties, and for this reason, Hezbollah and Iran have been killed in the region. On Sunday, Israel said about 100 its fighter jets targeted Hezbollah targets in southern Lebanon. Hezbollah, on the other hand, is also conducting missile attacks on northern Israel in retaliation. If Israel's use of 100 fighter jets is correct, then it should be considered the largest attack on Lebanon since 2006. Israel says it attacked Hezbollah at different times of day and night. It claims that the Lebanese militant organization was planning a major attack on Israel. Due to which attacks on Lebanon on militant bases, Israel massacred Palestinian Muslims for the past 11 months by making such fabricated stories.